Well, hello. Darryl Davis here again with another episode of the history of the Gosford Musical Society. And welcome back. Now, my mission today is to talk about one of our society's most favorite musicals, and that is Pirates of Penzance. I believe that the 1879 comic opera was the fifth collaboration of Gilbert and Sullivan. I think it just followed after Pinafore. This has been a favorite with GMS, and we did it in 1948. In fact, it was the very first show that GMS, in those days called Gosford Musical and Dramatic Society, put on. It was then done again in 1979. It was done in 1989, and then it was done in 2015. So what I'm going to do is tell you a little bit about the early ones, but concentrate on the one in 2015 because we've got a lot of really good photographs at that time. Okay. By the way, the photographs were done by a gentleman named Cliff Kent, who did a lot of shows for us. Very, very good character. Well, here we go. This is the original 1948, our very first production. On the right-hand side, you can see the program. And on the left, you will see some of the characters that were in that show. This was at the Valencia Picture Theater. And remember that has a tiny stage, very, very tiny. And yet they had a cast of 46 people. I don't know how they had 46 people, but they did. Quite amazing. And the costumes for that show were all rented from Williamson, J.C. Williamson in Sydney. And as I think I said, I know in the earlier episode when I was looking at the Valencia, they weren't real good. On the left-hand side there, Ruth, for instance, has got a pistol there, which is being the Wild West instead of the sort of early 1800s. And Frederick, the young guy, supposedly, what the show's about, looks like he's wearing a dress. So anyway, we got better as time went on. In 1979, this was performed at the Gosford High School Hall. One of the first ones there, actually. The Pirates of Penzance was a very popular show amongst audiences. And so they were pretty sure that they were going to be able to get lots of people, which I'll talk about in a moment, that they didn't get lots of people. Here we go. That's Don Craig on the left. Don Craig room, named after him. He played the Pirate King. In this 79 production, there's Don on the right side. And this, again, Frederick in this production was also played by a 40-year-old, which is not sort of normal. But they had, this was at the high school hall, so they actually had a curtain, that backdrop there that they used. Well, it looked pretty effective, actually. Now, I love this picture here of that. There's Don Craig on the right, again, as Pirate King. And you can see the proximity of the orchestra. They're right there in front. On the left-hand side are two of the policemen that are in the show. One is John Harden on the right, and he plays the sergeant, which is the main police part. 1989, this was the very first recognized musical at the Laycock Street Bicentennial Community Theater. So we did Let's Celebrate, which opened the theater, and then we did The Pirates of Penzance. I was in that show. I played the role of Frederick, the young apprentice. That was a long time ago. Now, in this show, the director decided that he was from NIDA. He decided that he wanted to do something very different. So instead of having pirates and pirates outfit, he decided to make the Pirates the name of a bikie gang. And on the left-hand side, young Nigel Chong played the Pirate King. And on the right-hand side, renowned GMS man Ted Williams played the Major General. Look at that mustache. And they also painted his nose red to show that he was drinking. Ted doesn't really look like that. But in one of the nights that he was singing the main song, I Am the Model of a Modern Major General, his mustache came off. So they thought that was funny and they kept that in, which I thought was pretty good too. Now this is a picture of the Pirates, and I'm in the bottom left-hand side there. I brought my own costume from home. That's a t-shirt and jeans. This was a picture of everybody involved there. And I think this is one of the early ones where we actually took a picture of the whole cast and orchestra. We always do that now, actually, which is very good. What I want to look now at in detail is to tell the story of Pirates through the 2015 production, because basically the pictures are so good. And I directed it too, so I know it pretty well as well. It had a very traditional setting, although we did use the David Spicer script, which I thought was absolutely wonderful. I loved that script. I thought it was the best. Those that saw the touring John English Pirates, or we might have seen it on TV even, that's the script that they used. And I thought it was just brilliant. So those who are familiar with Pirates, hopefully, will enjoy the pictures that I'll be putting on for you now. Here we go. This is celebrating Frederick's 21st birthday. And this is played by now professional actor Gareth Isaac. See, Frederick was apprenticed to the Pirates only until his 21st birthday, which is this particular day that he's leaving. However, in this opening celebration, Ruth, who is his nursemaid when he was still brought in as a young boy, tells this story through a song, When Frederick Was a Little Lad. This is played by Kerry Rosford, who's a very well-known Gosford director and actress. Ruth in this story explains that Frederick's father had actually told her to apprentice him to a pilot, which is a person that actually would navigate ships through the water. And she thought he said pirate. And so that's why Frederick became an apprentice. Well, Frederick tells his friends, the pirates, that he's going to leave the gang. He's turned 21, he's out of there. He loves them all, but he hates what they do. He hates that they are out doing what they're doing. And particularly because they're all weak, he says. He says, every time we capture somebody and they say they're an orphan, you let them go. You guys are too weak, so I'm going to defeat you. I love you, but I'm going to defeat you. We have the pirate king that comes on and says, listen, what we do is much better than honest people. And this pirate king is played by Christopher Martin, wonderful character. I love the outfit too. You see that set, by the way, I'll talk about it later on, but Angela Scott did this. That's one backdrop was used for Act 1, that was all. So it was mainly lighting that was so important in that show. The lighting was superb. The Pirate King sings this wonderful song that talks about how wonderful life is as a pirate. Have a look at that for a group of pirates. We wanted to make a number of them look a bit different, so we even had one with a kilt. He was our Scottish pirate. Frederick is told he leaves, and he goes with Ruth because the pirates want to get rid of her. And she actually wants to marry Frederick very much. She's loved Frederick since he was a young boy and wants to marry him. And so Frederick, who has never ever seen a woman before, except for her, basically says, are you beautiful? And she said, well, yes, I am. And so Frederick says, all right, even though you're a lot older than me, okay, I'll do the right thing, and we will get married. Then, at this point, just as she's there begging him, he hears in the distance voices. And when he looks, they are young, beautiful women. And he turns to her and says, you have deceived me. In fact, the song, oh, false one, you have deceived me. So he sends her on his way. And that brings our young ladies arrive. These girls are exuberant when they come on in singing their song, which is Climbing Over Rocky Mountain. I love the outfits in this show. They are so well done. The difference that we did was in the Spicer script, which I love. They only had 3 girls. And we decided to bring in all of these young ladies, which to give society our size, more people things to do. Frederick enters and tells the ladies that he has been a pirate, but he wants to be reformed. And he asked if any of the girls would like to marry him. And he appeals to them to help him reform. As you can see there, they're falling sort of all over him. And he sings this song, oh, is there not one maiden breast that will accept me? They're all fascinated by him until he actually starts telling them how wonderful he is and that he hopes that one of them will be, as good as him. What happens is he says, "Are there any of you that will marry me?" And not one of them will, except one. And when I do part 2, you will see who it is that actually accepts him and what happens to the pirates in their adventures. So thank you very much. Darryl Davis with Act 1. See you next time. Thank you.